All right, crew, it's time to jump back into one of the hottest topics that we cover, and that's jumping. Today, we're gonna mix it up a little bit. We're gonna talk about the 7 most common jumping mistakes. Dude, I forgot my bike. How am I gonna do it without a bike? All right, let's get deep into breaking down one of the most important things when it comes to jumping, and that's the mistakes. Now, I'm assuming that you've already watched the Ride Series how-to on jumps, and if you haven't, shame on you. Click below and give it a watch. We go really in depth on all of the factors in a successful jump, but now we have to come back to there are common mistakes. And so I have the advantage of being in the Ride Series setting to see what a lot of those mistakes are. Now we're gonna break down the 7 that I think are most crucial to your success in jumping. And we're gonna do those in an incredible spot here at the bottom of All-American in Bentonville, Arkansas. Now that's the first thing. Before we get into any of these mistakes, you gotta find the spot. Find a place that you can use, that you're comfortable with, that will allow you to progress a little bit. Now, one other last thing before we get into this is, get a dropper and make sure it's down. Now, let's get into the 7 most common jumping mistakes. Are you ready? Are you ready? Okay, here we go. Mistake 1, that is pedaling too deep into the takeoff. Here's what it looks like. So one of the most common issues is people coming in, you keep pedaling, you keep pedaling, you keep pedaling. Okay, the problem is you have to have the firm base to be able to load into the takeoff. So again, mistake number 1, you pedal too deep. Get your speed leading up to the jump. Get your pedals level and be ready to get that firm base. Get your pedals set, get them level so you're ready with that firm base. All right, there you go, common mistake number 1. Stop pedaling sooner. Give yourself some time to get that firm base before you reach the approach, which brings us right into step 2. That is level pedals for your firm base. You ready to see what that looks like? All right, second most common mistake, pedals not level. Really difficult to deal with what that does with your weight. It's very important you get the pedals level so you have that firm base to load into the jump. The only way you can do this is if you stop pedaling early enough, get those pedals level. Let me show you how. All right, I roll in, speed is there, I stop pedaling, level pedals, loading up. All right, there you have it. Mistake 2, and that is not getting your pedals level. Now you come in, pedals are level, what's next? Well, you have to load into the face of the takeoff to get your lift. But many issues I see lead right into mistake 3, and that's the hips. Hips don't lie. Remember, think Shakira. The problem is too many people, their hips shoot back. You have to keep your hips over the bottom bracket so you can effectively load in and get lift. I'm gonna show you. All right, here we go. Mistake number 3, one of the most common. Man, where do I start on that one? Major issue. You got to keep the hips over the bottom bracket. hips too far back, your weight isn't where it should be. Major issue. Second is that weight is over the back of the bike, which means you're gonna load that rear suspension up harder than you should. That's gonna be what could potentially buck you over the bars. Has nothing to do with your rebound adjustment. Then after that, if you're landing in that position, you have no traction up front. So as you can see, there are a slew of issues with having your hips back. Don't shoot your hips back. Keep your hips over the bottom bracket the whole time. Okay, just remember the mantra, Shakira, Shakira. Okay, there you go, mistake 3. Keep your hips where they should be. Now it's a battle. Which is the most common mistake? Hip positioning or this next one? The next one, I'm about to say this, and you're gonna stop and you're gonna go, "Go!" He sees right into me. Mistake number 4, don't lift the bike. Seriously, don't lift the bike. Use the takeoff to give you lift. Load into it. Let me show you what not to do. Oh yeah, here we go. I'm gonna bust it so big. Okay, here we go, hit our checklist. Stop pedaling, level pedals, hips neutral, load. Now at this stage of the game, I want you to choose the proper L word, and that is load, don't lift. Trust me on this one, don't lift the bike. Get the firm base and think about loading into the takeoff. Now, not quite sure what that means? No problem, I know exactly where you can find that out. Go check out the how to jump video we did a few months ago, and that'll outline that. Now, let's say you're getting all these dialed. At this point, everything's good. The next step is another very common one, and that is shooting the hips back as you come off the jump. You probably guessed it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Foot position, everything's great. Common tail, my friends. The approach looks good. You look at your buddy and say, this person's about to throw some stees, and then boom! They shoot their hips back for no apparent reason. I've said it once, I've said it probably 13,000 times. Keep your hips neutral. Think of it this way. I come off that jump. As the bike's angle changes, my torso stays with it. So what I want it to look like is this. When you shoot your hips back, the problem is you have no ability to push the bike forward if you need to. Trust me on this one. Firm base, keep my hips with me over the bottom bracket the whole time. Pretty straightforward. The rationale is you want your hips over the bottom bracket because that'll give you the ability to move anywhere you need to, get that bike rotated. Now, I've been very specific about stay with the bike, but that doesn't mean you do mistake number 6, which is rigor mortis. All right, here we go. Everything looks great, and then all right, so let's dig a little bit deeper here. This can end up being the perfect storm of badness. So you come in and you lift the bike, you yank that thing up, you start to lift to one side, and then you get the rigor mortis. Everything comes together and it is just bad. That's why it's imperative. Load into the jump and stay relaxed. You just gotta chill, you know? Just smooth. All right, we're almost wrapped. We got one mistake left. That one, that one's a little bit unique. It's landing rear wheel first. Now I'm very partial, obviously, if you've seen some of the videos, to landing front wheel first. Now if you look at the slope, it's angled down. So what I want to do is land with the slope. Now the key about landing front wheel first is you land front wheel first and you start to dissipate the energy through the bike. If I land both wheels together, it's okay, but you're maximizing downward force. The mistake that we're about to talk about, 7, landing rear wheel first, you maximize velocity of the front. Not a good thing to do in my opinion. Let me show you why. All right, lead in, everything's good. All right, there you have it. My 7 most common jumping mistakes, how to fix them. Now at this point, I'm pretty sure you've already watched the how-to jump video. If not, why? Watch that, really see how we break it down and then move into all these issues. You're there. You got it in you to bust some big steeds. Now find your spot. Here in the Oz Trails, we have a ton of places to really hone this technique. And that's the beauty of the Ride Series. If you have an opportunity, we'd love to have you there because our ground school setting removes as many impediments as possible and gives you rep after rep after rep. That's what you need. You need the data. Now, with that being said, hopefully you're digging the content and we want to keep bringing you more. So check out down below, we have a link to our Patreon. We'd love to get your support so we can make more of these videos, keep bringing you how-tos, cool events, vlog style things, you name it, we want to do it. Also, if you want a shirt or a hat, click that link down below. Now, I'm having some fun here. Old Uni's having some fun. I'm gonna rip it some more. Peace out, dumpers. All right, is that good? Did we get it?
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap? Sweet. All right, I wanna go see what this Stumpy can actually do, man. It looks good. Let's see if it works good.